Most people are using ChatGPT to write SEO content, but this is what almost no one does, using it to improve content that's already been written. And honestly, I think these 3 prompts I'm gonna give you in this video are the reason why my clients have been spiking in traffic in the last few months. And if you use these 3 prompts, that can be you. So let's get to it. The first prompt is super cool because it's going to cross-check the content you've already written against Google's guidelines. Yes, this is real, you're seeing it right. Google's guidelines are actually public online. It's a PDF with 36 pages, so that's quite a lot. And essentially, these are the guidelines that human reviewers use to cross-check websites and be able to tweak the algorithm. They're a little bit hard to understand if you just read them, they're very vague, but this prompt is gonna let us turn that vague advice into actionable steps. By the way, to get any of the 3 prompts, you just have to go to the description of the video and they'll be under ColinSeo/free. You just have to click there, and then you just have to put your name and your email, click here, and you'll get them instantly in your inbox, plus a lot of templates and other tools. You literally have a lot to do with it. So the first thing is literally just copy paste this and give it there. So it actually checks the PDF. It will say some nonsense, whatever. And then after that, all we have to do is just copy the prompt completely. You see it reaches until this point, the actual prompt in the docs. And all you have to do is just below that, copy paste the article you wrote. So here's the whole SEO optimized article. Literally, it's as easy as that. Control-C and then paste it inside. If you prefer, what you can actually do also is, if it's in Google Docs, go to Files and then download as a Docs file. So you don't have to paste the full article. Just paste the prompt, upload the file, and it will also work. And I love how nuanced it is. It's unbelievable because it's going to separate the answer into the different things that Google wants. For example, expertise is highlighting something that is being said in the article. For example, that we're describing first-hand scenarios of people with dementia flying, but we're not giving any proof of this happening firsthand, either that we've done it or something that proves that what we're saying is real. And the actionable improvements are brilliant. It's telling you add personal anecdotes. So for example, here what we could add is a quote of a customer that is dealing with this issue of having dementia and flying. So we show expertise as a brand. Or let's say you cannot get this, what you could do is search a source like a website, a vlog, or a YouTube video of someone who has dementia explaining their experience while flying. You put that video or link there and it literally will make your article more valuable. And you might think, there's no way Google is seeing these things. Trust me, they actually do. That's why it's in the PDF. It's these little actions, I call them grains of sand, that actually make a difference between an article being valuable or super valuable. You know, it's normally, Google always says like, oh, provide more value. This is what it actually means. Provide more value means nothing. So, but when you see it like this, you have it super clear. From this point onwards, of course, you can just go to your docs and make any edits you might do. The second prompt is actually way simpler and I'll be way quicker about it. All you have to do is copy paste this, and what it's asking is to provide more value relative to what the article is about. So I call that adding ideas inside the topical semantic umbrella. Same logic applies. There's a prompt and then the huge article pasted. And right away, you can see this is brilliant value. Look at this one. A travel risk checklist. This can be visual like it's suggesting, or you don't necessarily have to do exactly what it's saying. You might want to create a checklist in a bullet point format. So it's telling us to create a travel checklist for when someone who has dementia travels in a plane. That's extremely valuable. Or for example, here it's telling us to talk about airport assistant programs, and here we can mention them and we can give links to these programs. So the person who's looking at the article can literally go to that link at the program, and this might actually help them on the next flight. You see how valuable the article is. Like I said, ChatGPT is going to do a pretty good job at giving you topics and ideas related to what the article is about, which is flying if you have dementia. But just be extremely careful that if there's anything that starts to get away from that topical semantic topic, just don't add it, because we don't want to create a cannibalization in terms of topics, that in an article about flying and dementia, you start to talk about something that is slightly too different from that topic. And now the last one, fact-checking. We're trying to clean the internet from misinformation and all these things. So if we post on the internet, we need to start from that point. The great thing is that Google actually rewards this. First, because we're saying true stuff. And secondly, because by saying true stuff, it's gonna let us link to the source of the truth and therefore add an internal link to to a reputable source. So the same logic, big prompt here with all the specifics. All of this took months of tweaking, of ChatGPT not working, doing weird things until it sort of worked most of the times. And the great thing here is that it's flagging statements, and then it's also telling you if they're true, partially true, or not true. It's not just flagging the ones that are not true. So this will be helpful, for example, if you made a statement, it's telling you it's partially true, but it's giving you the links of that information, the source of information. So you might have made a statement without a link, so now you have somewhere to link it, even though it was correct. It also tells you if something is speculative, so you can maybe add that after your statement. You can say this is speculated or is partly true, or there needs to be more studies about this. This is also helpful for complete transparency. One important thing though that is really important, for example, in a health client like this, I have a legal client as well, is that it might not flag all the statements, okay? It's much better than just relying on yourself if you're writing, or the writer that, oh yeah, I guess everything is true. But don't think, okay, just pass this ChatGPT prompt and everything's perfect. It's always important that an expert checks it, whether it's the client itself or someone needs to check it. If not, things could not be correct and you can get in a bit of trouble. Although it depends on the niche. Sometimes if you say something that's not fully correct in a client about table covers, might not be the end of the world. If you're one of those viewers that you're watching this and you're like, this is amazing, but how do I even write this? I first need to get to this. Don't worry, because I have 2 videos that you can watch next. The first one is this one right here that is gonna show you literally the whole core of my agency. How I go from a set of keywords to a full content outline that then a writer can write. But you need to write it. So I have another video right here that is also in the description and up here that gives you a lot of tips on how to write for SEO. So now is your turn. Let's go.